For 18 relentless months, I poured everything I had into building a next-gen cybersecurity system, one that could predict and neutralize cyberattacks before they even began. I believed NexTech was the ideal environment to bring it to life: deep pockets, forward-thinking culture, and every resource I could ask for. What I didn't see coming was the betrayal. Victor Carlton, NexTech's polished CEO, had been playing a long game. Let me build the system, then take it for himself. I'm Sophia Chin, former lead AI architect at NexTech Solutions. I left a secure position at Google to chase something bigger, something transformative. I had a vision for a system that could reshape cybersecurity, and I believed this startup would give me the space to make it real. The system was called Precog Security, named after the clairvoyance in Minority Report. It wasn't just proactive, it was predictive, adapting in real time to evolving threats. It could identify malicious patterns before an attack was even fully formed. I built it from the ground up, surviving on caffeine and 80-hour workweeks, until finally, it worked. 3 days ago, Precog successfully detected and shut down a simulated breach, without any manual input. Not only that, it uncovered flaws in our systems I hadn't programmed it to find. The AI wasn't just functioning, it was learning. I immediately booked time with Victor to share the breakthrough. His assistant, Megan, squeezed me in for a 15-minute slot the next afternoon. When I walked into his office, I wasn't just greeted by Victor, but also by the company's general counsel, Diana Wells. "Take a seat, Sophia," Victor said smoothly. "Diana's here for something routine." That was the moment the unease kicked in. I sat, laptop in hand, the demo queued and ready. Victor pushed a document across the desk. "Before we get into Precog, we need to revisit your employment agreement." Diana spoke next, calm and clinical. "Section 12. For outlines that any intellectual property developed using NexTech resources is owned exclusively by the company." I nodded slowly. "I understand that clause, but Precog originated before I joined. I have records showing the concept predates." "We reviewed your documentation," she cut in. "What you had was an idea. The working system was built here, using our infrastructure." Victor leaned forward, dropping the corporate charm. "Let's be honest, Sophia, Precog is NexTech's asset now, and the board believes your compensation reflects your contributions fairly." I blinked. "Compensation?" He offered a cool smile. "You're entitled to a success bonus, $250,000, once Precog is officially launched. Very competitive, by industry standards." It felt like a punch. 18 months of blood, sweat, and sleepless nights, for a system that would be worth billions, and they were tossing me a check and pushing me out the door. Victor continued, unfazed. "Tomorrow, we're presenting Precog to our investors. We're expecting $50 million in new funding. After that, we'll unveil our groundbreaking new product." I stared at him, the realization hitting me in full. "You're firing me," I said. I said flatly, "Transitioning me out?" "Effective immediately," Diana replied, her tone crisp. Victor leaned back, his smirk sharp and practiced, the kind he usually reserved for competitors. "With your bonus, of course. Congratulations, Sophia, your employment is terminated." He slid a termination letter across the table. "Our legal team has confirmed that Precog's algorithm falls under NexTech's IP, as outlined in your contract." I could have fought back, shouted, threatened legal action, flipped the desk, but instead, a strange calm settled over me. They were expecting outrage, they'd prepared for resistance. What they didn't know was that I had prepared too. 6 months earlier, I'd noticed a strange access log. Victor had entered my secure development server after hours. He hadn't taken anything, not visibly, but the breach was enough. From that point on, I embedded safeguards into Precog, not just to defend it from hackers or hostile actors, but from internal threats as well. So I nodded, handed over my laptop, and stood up. "Of course, Mr. Carlton, best of luck with tomorrow's investor demo." Security escorted me to my lab, watching as I packed my few personal items into a cardboard box, the universal symbol of corporate exile. I left my badge behind and walked out of the building without a word. What they didn't know was that I had hidden a little surprise in Precog's presentation, code set to trigger exactly 10 minutes into the demo. That night, I didn't cry, didn't plot revenge. I ordered takeout, binge-watched garbage TV, and waited. At 9:30 p.m., my phone rang. "Megan," I said, recognizing Victor's assistant's number. "He wants to see you," she said, No greeting. It's almost 10 p.m. It's urgent. A car's already en route to your apartment. 40 minutes later, I was escorted into NexTech's top-floor conference room. Victor sat alone at the head of the table, disheveled and visibly fraying, his tie hung loose, and his usually styled hair was a mess. "Fix it," he snapped as the door closed behind me. I took my time settling into a chair. "Fix what? Don't play dumb, you sabotaged the demo." I raised an eyebrow. "Interesting theory. I was fired yesterday. Security walked me out. I didn't access any systems, didn't take any hardware." Victor slammed his fist on the table. The test crashed. Precog started flagging imaginary threats, thousands of them. It overloaded our system. It's useless. I kept my voice level. "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" His face flushed. "This is serious. 12 investors are flying in tomorrow. $50 million on the line." "Right," I said. "Your investors. Your system now. That's what you told me yesterday." Victor inhaled deeply, trying to compose himself. When he spoke again, the aggression was gone, replaced by the smooth persuasion I'd once fallen for. "Maybe we were too hasty. I'm open to revisiting terms, co-creator credit, a revised compensation package, possibly even some equity." I tilted my head. "What exactly happened during the test?" He hesitated, choosing his words. Precog started flagging components of our own infrastructure as threats. Then it generated a flood of internal reports, hundreds. It labeled them internal ethical breaches. I smiled. "Sounds like it's working." "What the hell does that mean?" "Precog is doing what it was built to do, identify threats, all threats." Victor paled slightly. "You programmed it to spy on us?" "I programmed it to detect malicious behavior, regardless of where it comes from. During development, I fed it case studies, real-world scenarios. Some of those involved insider threats, executives altering logs, stealing IP, covering their tracks." Understanding hit him like a slap. "The system thinks I'm the threat." "Not you personally," I said. "Just patterns of behavior, unauthorized access, credential tampering, falsified ownership claims." His voice dropped an octave. "You can't prove any of that." "I don't have to. Precog documented everything. It's been logging unauthorized access, copied files, edited metadata, all timestamped, all backed up, all indexed." Silence stretched between us. Victor's eyes narrowed, his mind clearly recalculating. "What do you want?" "Recognition as the sole creator and lead architect of Precog, 50% ownership of all related IP, a permanent board seat to oversee ethical governance, and $10 million for your attempt to erase me." He stared at me, jaw tightening. "That's extortion." "No, Victor, that's negotiation. Extortion would be me forwarding those reports to your investors, or the SEC." His posture collapsed slightly, shoulders sagging. "The system, can you fix it? For tomorrow?" "Precog doesn't need fixing," I said. "It needs proper authorization protocols. Right now, it's flagging any command from someone who doesn't have the right credentials." I stood up. "It's a simple fix, actually." I pulled a flash drive from my pocket and placed it on the table between us. "This contains a patch, an offensive identification update that will stabilize Precog's threat detection and resolve the current issues," I said. "Call it a good faith gesture toward our new partnership. Contracts can be finalized tomorrow." Victor didn't reach for it right away. "And if I refuse?" I didn't flinch. "Then Precog stays broken, the demo tanks, and those internal breach reports end up in the hands of some very curious regulators. It's your call." He picked up the flash drive slowly. "You planned all of this?" "No," I said, calmly. "I planned for the possibility. After I caught you accessing my secure server 6 months ago, I built in safeguards, some for the system, and some for myself." Victor's eyes narrowed. "How did you know I'd try to cut you out?" I stood, shouldering my bag. "I didn't. But Precog is designed to detect patterns and anticipate threats before they happen. I guess a little of that rubbed off on its creator." The next morning, I walked into NexTech as co-founder and chief technology officer. Victor introduced me to the investors with a smile that was all polish, no warmth. The demo began, and Precog performed flawlessly, disarming simulated threats in real time with seamless precision. One of the investors turned to Victor, impressed. "Incredible system. What inspired its development?" Victor hesitated, just for a beat, then replied, "It was Sophia's idea from the beginning. Her vision. NexTech just gave it the space to grow. I managed to keep my expression neutral, but the satisfaction was hard to hide. Midway through the QA, my phone buzzed. A private system message from Precog had appeared. Threat neutralized. System integrity restored. Creator protections active. I smiled. The AI was evolving faster than expected. It had detected the internal threat and played its role in neutralizing it. 3 months later, Precog prevented a massive cyber attack on a major financial institution, saving them over $340 million and instantly establishing our platform as the gold standard in cybersecurity. Victor and I maintain a strictly professional relationship now. He handles business development, where, in fairness, his skills are real, while I lead innovation and engineering. We're not friends, we never will be. But we've reached a workable balance. Sometimes I wonder if I could have handled it differently, gone the legal route, fought it out in court. But then I remember, Victor's betrayal taught me something essential. Technology is only as ethical as the people who wield it. That lesson is now hardwired into every Precog deployment. Each rollout includes transparent oversight protocols, internal auditing systems, and ethical fail-safes. The AI doesn't just protect networks anymore, it protects itself and its users from manipulation. Last week, during the celebration for our IPO, Precog now valued at $4.2 billion, a junior developer pulled me aside. "What's the secret to building something like this?" she asked. I smiled. "It's not just about the code," I told her, "it's about seeing the real threats. They're not always obvious, sometimes they come from within. Build systems that can recognize those threats, adapt to them, and respond without compromising their core integrity. Just like their creator learned to do."